I wish I had like $100 billion to make a movie.
What would you make?
I'd have first of all, it'd be like 8 hours long, right? Just straight 8 hours. And like, it'd be like a solid, like regular formulaic movie for the first 2.5 hours. And then like the main character would like shit themselves and die.
That's actually very pertinent to the game we played today.
What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
What's going on, everybody?
How's everyone doing? What a year it's been. And what a year it continues to be for this episode of the podcast.
Only. This is the last one of 2020, unfortunately. We will put the previous year behind us. Would this be like the official holiday cast then?
Unfortunately, like you want 2020 to continue. I will say, and this is going to be a hot take, and it's going to be like a downer immediately, but like the idea that like just because 2020 is over, like the next year isn't going to be like as bad as 2020, we got to make 2021 the best year ever,
be
okay?
exactly the same.
Yeah, at least for the first half. But now we're used to it at least.
Yeah,
we're used to like the soul-crushing society weight of terrible disease, etc. Whatever.
Just wait till July rolls around. We're all going to get gold chains.
Gold chains. Put that in your stimulus package. But what did we play this week? Speaking of gold chains, speaking of people who might wear gold chains.
Jesus Christ. We played PaRappa the Rapper.
Yes, for the PS1, not the remake, because of all the games that needed a remake. This one got one for PS4, I think.
Can I have a hot take on this? I think this game is not good.
Oh, this game was absolutely terrible. This oh God, we usually don't try to message each other about the game, but like I pleaded to Dana before we talked about this. I'm like, is that, yes, we bought the games and dumped our own ROM so we could play it on emulators, of course. But I'm like, is this emulator emulating this game incorrectly? Like, is my controller not working with this game? Why doesn't this game actually work?
I want to make the point, like I searched like, why is PaRappa the Rapper impossible? And like everybody has like the same issues. Like, but it gets addicting, you know? It's like trial and error. It's like, well, I like games where it feels like I have some sort of input on the gameplay versus like random luck. Like that's not fun to me. Like this doesn't feel like a game I can get better at.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about what PaRappa the Rapper is. PaRappa the Rapper is one of the first console rhythm games.
Yeah.
So I guess it came out in like 1996.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple rhythm game. You are a rapper and there is a semblance of a plot. There's 6 stages where you're trying to progress and get this flower-shaped girl to take you on a date.
Might I say, theoretically, this might be one of the easiest, theoretically, music games of all time. Just in the least, like each level is like X, square, triangle, triangle.
This game's very similar to, I'm not sure if you remember playing it on the PS2, Britney's Dance Rush or whatever.
Except that game is good, okay?
Yeah, that game is actually good. I remember playing the shit out of that game at my babysitter's house.
I played the ever-living shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, except for the GBA version, which was like absolutely terrible.
No,
I have like a video of me on the Britney's Dance Rush GBA game. It's like literally hit the A button like 95 times in a row. Anyway, that's a tangent. It's a really far out there tangent. PaRappa the Rapper, yeah, it's a person instructing you to do certain moves, and then it's you repeating those moves, but having to time with the beat. PaRappa the Rapper's character scrolls across the screen, and when it goes over a certain note, theoretically you're supposed to hit the button.
Yeah.
The problem with this game, and why we both considered it kind of bad and very difficult, is that this game has extremely tight timing windows, so like if you do not hit it exactly when it has to be hit, you will go to near game over. And
so I want to make the point to say though that audible and visible markers have nothing to do with anything in this game. Like,
yeah, there's also no feedback until you go through an entire bar. Like, you know how rap is in bars, like an entire line. Like, you don't know if you did it well or not.
No.
And yeah, what I was gonna say, the actual correct timing is not what you would consider right musically.
No.
So you will often hit where you think you need to hit or where
visually.
Visibly was on the screen.
It won't be visual or musically. It's something completely in between. Also, and people have also pointed out after looking at forums that it's different from level to level. So that like sweet spot where you're supposed to hit it is completely different, like arbitrary spot that they decided. How far did you get in this game?
I got to the 4th out of 6 levels, which is the one that's notorious, the one where you're cooking a cake.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could have beaten it, but I didn't have enough time. And I was like,
really
I'm
lucky.
not going to do this.
After like my 10th try, I beat it, and then I could not beat the next level.
Yeah, they did progress in difficulty with the exception of the third level, which was I think the easiest level in the game because this game rewards mashing.
I could not do the third level for the longest time. That was really hard for me.
Oh, I did a first try.
Wow.
The thing about this game is that it rewards mashing. So if you just like mash through a section, you often will be able to like get through that section with flying colors. And when you have sections like the third one, which have a lot of notes in the first place, I think it's a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
The difficulty, or not difficulty, but the game is like some other rhythm games like the Beatmania series, where it's a life bar system where you have to have a certain life bar threshold at the end to pass the level. Basically, you have to have the highest life bar that's humanly doable. There's this cool, great, bad, and awful, and if your life bar goes to awful, you have the chance to end the
level.
Game over the level early. But if you have awful or bad at the end of the stage, you're not able to pass. If you have cool or great, then you're able to pass. But I've never actually gotten cool.
Like, I actually went to the highest score after getting as far as I did. It was like, I had some levels passed with like 19 points. Like, like my first level I passed with like 200. So it's like, everything just seems so arbitrary in this game. I feel like this is just a case of people being like, oh, this is like one of the best games ever. It's like, when was the last time you played this? Did you really play this? Like, it's like the people, that say like Conker's Bad Fur Day is their like favorite game. It's like, I promise 90% of you have never played this game.
They just like look at that Great Mighty Pooh cutscene and are like, this is speaking to me on a personal level. But
yeah, exactly.
Want to know why I think this game is actually considered very good? First of all, it was one of the first rhythm games, and when you have a revolutionary title in a genre, even if it does not age well at all, people are gonna like have fond memories. But honestly, this game was set up in a way that I really, really wanted to like it. It's got quirky characters, quirky graphics, cool art, yeah, etc. Like, this game has personality.
Like, the music is pretty good too. Like, they're cute and funny.
Oh yeah, these raps are actually bops. The first one with Kick Punch, it's all in the mind. Like, I'm jamming out to that.
Like, I've been singing that song because I played this game originally on a demo disc from like Game Pro magazine in like 1997, and I've had that song stuck in my head ever since. I just never was able to beat it back then, and I barely was able to beat it now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I genuinely really wanted to enjoy this game, and like I really, really tried to give it a shot before like this game like turned into hot garbage. There was actually like a area of the game I was having a lot of fun with, and that's when I went into the options and I changed the difficulty from regular to easy, and that actually like it increased your timing window by like triple. Like, it was actually like completely doable. The problem is, and this is honestly why I didn't have enough time to like actually like try level 4, get to level 5, etc. Because like I feel like if I got to level 5, I could have like beaten the game because it's only 6 levels.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I thought the game actually glitched out initially. When you play on the easy mode, you could only get to level 3 out of 6. Like, if you beat level 3, the cutscene will just like end, and all of a sudden the game will restart. I'm like, did my game just not save? Did it crash? So I did it again, and it's like, oh god damn it. When the game's on easy mode, like the game actually feels how it's supposed to feel, and like it makes you feel like you have rhythm. I don't want to like, there's something we have to talk about, and that both of us have played rhythm games our entire life, so we might be like a little bit of rhythm game snobs, but like I don't want to come off as like an asshole when I say like I should be able to be good at a rhythm game, and the fact that like I wasn't able to like follow this at all intuitively like says something.
Well, it's like, it's not only that, like I was saying earlier, this is literally the easiest rhythm game of all time theoretically. Like, the levels are literally like X, square, triangle, triangle, triangle. Like, those are like, that's like the speed of like you need to hit the buttons. It's like any person that's ever played a rhythm game in their life would be able to do it. It gets as hard as like circle, 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 triangle, L, circle. Like, at those speeds, it's not that fast. Like, we're used to, 200 BPM, 16 notes, like crazy shit, that we can, pretty much get perfect accuracy on in some games and stuff like that. With this, it's just simple button presses just did not register where it should have intuitively. It was very...
Yeah, it's slow enough that if you're playing on a third-party controller, you could still do it, even if you don't have squares and X's and circles on your controller.
I actually had to switch off my Stadia controller because the button distance was too high. There's like too much, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it was too, I don't want to say hard to press the buttons, but like for the button to fully be pressed down and feel it was significantly more than like I switched back to like my PS3 wired controller, and I did a little bit better on it, but it's...
Friendship ended with Stadia.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's the worst controller of all time. No, it's actually fine.
It's fine with literally everything but this, but it sucks because, like you said, I wanted to enjoy this game. Like you said, I love the art, I love the music. Like you said, these are bops. Like, I have some of these songs like stuck in my head. Like, they're
for 20 years,
like
more than 20 years at this point.
Yeah. But It's just looking back on it, I don't think it holds up at all after seeing a lot of games nowadays. Maybe it was revolutionary because I was reading a lot of reviews on it. People were like, oh, like this, you got to give it a chance, blah blah blah. Like, how could you say this game's bad, blah blah blah? And like, it's because we had 20 years of better shit to play, you know?
Yeah, I mentioned right at the beginning, like, oh, we didn't play the PS4 remaster of that game. I'm pretty sure, like, I was reading on like how to play PaRappa the Rapper because I was like genuinely confused, and a lot of people were saying like, yeah, the game didn't hold up when they got a remaster. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that should have stayed in the 90s. And it does make me wish there were more quirky, cool games like this. That's the one thing, because I feel like a lot of indie games, especially now, try to have that quirky art style, but like in their quirkiness, they all kind of look the same.
Like,
this
this
had a
is
very
so
unique personality.
Like, everything's like flat. It does like the Paper Mario thing, but like everything's like a
Flat Stanley.
Yeah, everything's like Flat Stanley. I love the art and music and everything. The whole art direction of this is pretty interesting with like the little cutscenes and stuff like that. Everything's fully voice acted. So
yeah, I wonder if PaRappa the Rapper ever dates Flower Girl. We'll never know, because I'm probably not going to play this game again. I actually was genuinely pissed off many times in this game, and
well, what's so frustrating is it feels like something that could be easily fixed by making like the timing windows correct. And this could be like an actually good game.
Do you think there was a conspiracy, though, because there's only 6 levels in this game, that they tried to make it harder artificially?
Well, it's like they could make it like the timing windows like perfect, just make it sync correctly.
No, but I'm saying, like, do you think they made it bullshit hard so people didn't spend an hour in this game and beat it because it's only 6 levels and the levels are easy in concept?
See, that doesn't make it's weird, though, because if you look at reviews from when this game came out, it got like 95, 96%, like perfect reviews. Like, oh, this is the best game on the system. Like, which is so strange to me. 96
seems pretty early in the PS1's lifespan, though, so I could also
No, I mean, like, that's the score it got, like 96 out of 100.
No, what I'm saying is 1996 was, like, early in the PS1's lifespan, so, like, with the cool cutscenes, graphics, like, and revolutionary concept, or maybe not revolutionary, but, like,
it was the
original concept, people were, like, willing to give it more benefit of the doubt versus, like, 2 years later, Klonoa or whatever came out. That's
an infinitely better game.
Yeah, I people are more forgiving earlier in the console's lifespan.
This
but like,
might be one of my most disappointing games we've played on the podcast.
Yeah, because you're PS1 apologist and fanboy.
Yeah, well,
you know you wanted to like this.
Well, it's like we both wanted to like this. I love the PS1. You like this kind of art style, and I know you do. And like I love campy music, so it's like it was like.
Well, I also have heard of PaRappa the Rapper, especially as a rhythm game player. It's like, oh, that's a game that people love. I did actually look forward to playing it. Some games need to stay on the demo disc. This happened with me with Cow the Kangaroo on Dreamcast. That game sucks, and it was good on the demo.
Well, I guess I'm not picking that next week. Thanks for ruining my choice.
Yeah, you had that on the ready.
Yep.
Even though it's my choice next week, you were gonna like, fuck you. We gotta play Cow the Kangaroo.
Yeah.
For no reason.
This sucks, man. I'm pissed, but I mean, what can you do? A game is a game.
You sound extremely pissed. You sound so upset. Honestly, like, I feel like it says something when you can't even like talk about a game that much. It's just like, yeah, there wasn't much here, and I wish we could.
Like I said, the game is literally hit like X, Y, B, B, Y, A. Like there's like you press like 4 buttons.
Isn't every single game kind of like X, Y, B though?
Well, it's like most like fucking rhythm games are like X, Y, B, A. You know what I mean? Like it's like hard. This doesn't. It's just like
it's like Daikenkai on Oni.
Yeah, this game.
Your local DDR.
This isn't a hard game. It's just like not good made.
Not good. But speaking of good games, let's do it.
Games.
Okay, we want to thank you all, first of all, for 2,000 plays on our SoundCloud, but more importantly, for a very, 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 very good year for the podcast. I mean, it went from not existing to existing, and that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
We have now played 35 games and watched a couple movies for whatever reason. We've had a lot of soul searching, a lot of growth along the way.
Figure out where we're at, But I had an amazing amount of fun. I think we can both say this is the most games we've played since like we were like young teenagers. I want to say.
Yeah, pretty much. Like since like I was actually like going to friends' house and doing couch co-op.
Yeah, which is kind of like what this kind of feels like. So we kind of play a game that we like talk about it and stuff like that. Maybe it will have some actual couch co-op in the future, but we kind of made a list of our favorite games or like the games we thought were best this year and kind of have a list of our worst games this year. So
yeah, we want to do a little bit of retrospective. So I'm gonna do my own little retrospective.
Okay.
And this retrospective, pretend I edited in something great. I don't have time, or I'm gonna dedicate this year to interrupting Dana. I've done it every single sentence of every single podcast, and it's let's get some sentimental music.
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, you've done it, but I've done it literally every single sentence. I dedicate this podcast, this year of podcasting, to interrupting Dana while he's trying to make a point. Like he has thoughts in his mind, and like I just interrupt them, and then the thoughts leave, and then we never get to hear it. So
I need to
shout
stop
outs
being such a bitch, and I need to say my things.
Stop being like a beta conversationalist. Come on, man. No, but in reality, we're going to do a retrospective right now, okay? This is virtual homework throughout the year. What are your top 3 favorite games of this year? We'll do that first, and then we'll do bottom 3.
So when you say top, like we're doing top 3 or whatever, are they like, my favorite game is this, or can we just have them all like on like the same level or? Yeah,
all on the same level, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like what you consider the best game, but the most enjoyable experience.
So my 3 top games this year were 999, The Witness, and Hollow Knight. Those are my 3 favorite games I played the most. I have a special thanks to the game Hover Racing. I want to put that up there as well because that game fucking slaps, but I can't put it as like my favorite games because there just isn't enough content with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, so that's not necessarily a bad list. I'll spoil it right now. 999 is on my list of top 3 favorite games of the year. That game just had like such an amazing story.
So good. Like
and
The Witness
and the puzzles. Yeah, they were like really engaging, and like there was no point in that game that I just like felt like dumb with it. You know, I just wanted it to go and go until I got to the end, understood what was happening.
It's kind of how I felt with The Witness. I think I enjoyed The Witness a little bit more than you did, but I like to think you still enjoyed it a little bit.
I enjoyed The Witness, but the reason I didn't list it on my top 3 games of this year was because I really enjoyed it through you. I watched you play it. Like with puzzle games, I get frustrated relatively easily, and even though there were a lot of cool puzzles, and I felt like it was satisfying to go through the puzzles in The Witness, I just got puzzled out, especially when it got harder and harder. And
some
I was
of the most
like,
fun
I'll let
we've
you
had,
do the brain power.
Some of the most fun we've had in relation to this podcast was straight up when we were on Discord call together, like doing some of those puzzles. Like that was actually so much fun.
You beating the game on stream, and I was like up to like 3 a.m. on a work night, just like, come on, beat the goddamn game.
Yeah, that was hype as hell.
Do that puzzle on the column is like, I can't think right now.
Dude, that game like hurts your brain. Like I felt it like prickling like the side of me. And then Hollow Knight
fucking sucks. Whatever. That's all I have to say.
The game is amazing.
I'm gonna go with my big 3.
Okay.
Should we just get into it, or did you have more to say?
No, that's it.
About Hollow Knight.
Fuck you.
But so this game that is the most overrated piece of shit. No, okay, I understand. It's a good game. I'm gonna piss people off by saying that.
Piss them off. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I wish I could enjoy it like a normal human being, but I'm the way I am. I'm wearing a Minion sweater right now, so it's not like I have good taste.
Sam got me a sweater that has the podcast logo on that, and I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I literally dictate everything in Dana's life now. I his wardrobe, his cuisine. It's fucked.
I mean, you're not wrong. I actually am going to be making fucking Thai curry tomorrow because my mom was like, "Oh, I love Thai curry," and like that's literally what I bought. She's just like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Make that." So we're having for dinner tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm giving him recipes.
What are your fucking best games, you piece of shit?
So I got 999 on there. I mentioned that, but your honorable mention, Hover Racing, is actually on my list for top 3. I mean, it makes sense that there were some really good games this year, but like if you couldn't pick The Witness or Hollow Knight, maybe Hover Racing would be put up to the top. I mean, like that's honestly the quintessential like PS1 experience. I really, really enjoyed it. Like it
was so
I feel like
fun. Like
even though the game wasn't like an official release, it was like the best a racing game I feel for the PS1 could be.
Oh yeah, it just had everything I liked, like super responsive but difficult controls that you felt yourself getting better at.
Easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could feel yourself in real time getting better to it. Because like let's say you do another lap and you're like, holy crap, I made it around that turn without hitting the side. You know what I mean? Like it was so satisfying.
Low scale production, like the poly graphics. Like honestly, like they didn't hurt it. They kind of helped it, gave it some charm, and the music was also extremely pop.
Music is like such a pop. I do have some other like special, I guess, mentions. Like I want to return to Earthbound 3 and Psychonauts. Those were both fantastic.
Earthbound 3.
Mother 3. Sorry.
It's Mother 3. You literally like to tweet on Mother 3 today. Come on, you can't even think of it. You're on the virtual homework podcast. Like you gotta know your homework.
Would you say like
you gotta know your homework? Gotta know your shit.
Like I feel like those could possibly be on my favorite list, but I didn't play enough of them.
Well, so speaking of Mother is actually the other game in my top 3. The original one
Really?
on NES. I was very, very surprised on how good that was, and you didn't beat it. I beat it. I thought that game was a really good atmospheric. There were some massive issues, especially if you were to play that game without the easy ring. But how we played it, I actually really enjoyed it, and I was very satisfied by beating it.
Isn't that fucking fantastic, though, that you can go back to a game from, like, what was it, 1988, and go, this is one of my favorite games I played after all, like, the modern games. Like, we played, like, 30 years of games, and that holds up to that day. I think that's fantastic to me. Like, the game's, like, design, you could put all this polish on it, but good game design is good game design.
Yeah, I think that part of it is having expectations that it is an NES game. Like if you go into it like playing Death Stranding, it's like it's not going to be that. Death Stranding, Mother 3, they are on my honorable mentions list, but the one game, the reason I didn't actually include those is because I didn't finish it, and I feel like if you're not going to finish a game, you probably shouldn't say it's the best game you played the year. I will go back to those eventually, but the other game that I genuinely had a lot of fun with that like I couldn't feel good about putting in my top 3 was Mario and Sonic.
Yeah,
I had stupid fun with that game, and I was just like...
That was like actually like, what's it, the ephemeral experience, whatever the term is.
Ephemeral.
Yeah, like it felt like so low stakes. It was silly. Like that was, if I was like 7 years old, I would love the fucking shit out of that game. I'm fucking 30, and I had a decent amount of fun with it because it was so stupid. Like at a base, the mini games in that are terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good game, but I had fun with it, you know? And I think fun, there's a lot to say about having fun.
I learned so many facts about the Olympics. I don't know a single thing about the Olympics anymore. I forgot everything.
Right?
I guess it took place in Tokyo.
I don't even remember what year it was. 1963 or something like that? Or 1950?
1964. 1964. I remember that, okay?
Okay.
But speaking of games that we may not remember, you may have had to like go back through the list and be like, oh yeah, we played that. What were your bottom 3 this year?
So
I think I know at least one of them.
Aqua Teen.
I think I know at least 2 of them.
Aqua Teen.
Aqua Teen was definitely on my list of top 3 worst games.
Sucked. It was like the worst.
Yeah.
Like the gameplay consisted of pressing A and walking across and being frustrated. And I mean, I liked it because I'm a huge Aqua Teen fan, but like even that couldn't even make it a good experience for me.
They tried to make a bad game, but instead of like coming off as like so bad it's good, it was just so bad it was bad.
Yeah.
Like that's something. It was one and done. I somehow 100% of the game because I'm masochistic, but yeah, I'm very, very happy never ever going back to that game, and I would never recommend that game to anyone, even a massive diehard Aqua Teen fan like me.
To be honest, it's not necessarily my list of worst games this year because there are games that were shit, but like whatever. It's also like most disappointing games for me. Like I want to say Tembo. Tembo is probably one of the most disappointing games I played this year.
Tembo was also on my list. So far, we're 2 for 2.
So it just was such a fantastic intro that just turned into nothing. They could have done so much with it, and they just did nothing.
First of all, it was Sega and Game Freak developing a game. Like literally 2 of the biggest game developers making a new IP, a new 2D platformer IP with good art direction and a good concept, and they somehow fell flat. I mean, it didn't help that the PC port was also dog shit. I feel like a lot of these games had dog shit PC ports, so maybe that's
a problem
something we should come to expect. But
no, I mean, my third is, I want to say PaRappa the Rapper, dude.
PaRappa the Rapper was in what I would consider like its own tier. I had this as an honorary mention, but Ikaruga, Toki, and PaRappa the Rapper, I all didn't want to say were the worst experiences because when they were actually good, they were good. But like they were just so unbelievably frustrating to play and just honestly too difficult. So it
wasn't fun.
I couldn't call them fun. Yeah, the other games that like maybe you haven't mentioned, but like Giraffe Town.
Yeah, Giraffe Town is on my. I have like a 4th because I guess like PaRappa would probably be more in that kind of like it's more frustrating because I did enjoy parts of it. Like I didn't enjoy anything about Giraffe Town.
Giraffe Town sucked. Giraffe Town sucked so much. It was the worst.
The game really fucking sucked.
It was the worst.
Blame our
terrible.
Blame our friend for that.
Yeah, I have more to say, but I don't want to talk about the game.
Why not? What do you have to say?
That would give them attention, and it would also trigger some of my PTSD from Giraffe Town.
So are there any other than Mother 3 and Psychonauts, or any other games you wanted to go back to?
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
You spent 2 weeks on that game and you got through every nook and cranny. I still want to beat it. The thing is, I'm just scared. I'm scared of the commitment left to that game. I know that if I played Mother 3, I probably would only play it for like another 10 hours max, because I would beat the game. I played a lot of the game up front.
Yeah.
But I know that if I went back in Death Stranding, even though I'm 20 hours into that game, that's like committing to like 30 more hours of
Well, the thing is,
gameplay.
we played it when it came out, so it's like you kind of gotta wonder if like people are still playing and like putting up bridges and all that kind of shit, or
They just did a sale. The game was $30 for the Game Awards.
so there's probably a whole slew of new people. So to be honest, if you were gonna play it,
and they actually released exclusive Cyberpunk DLC that was like free. So like, you remember how we pre-ordered the game, so we got like exclusive masks or whatever.
yeah, we got like the gold skins for like the speed suits and shit like that.
Yeah, there's some Cyberpunk skins that were free. So
Wow.
I feel like a couple people are going back to the game. I wonder though if it's almost too easy as a Strand game. What a genre. Part of it is like other people's participation changes your flow of the game.
that
So if
was
there's
my
too many people
favorite
who
part
play
about the game. That was my favorite part about the game.
I thought that was a genuine like surprise on how good the multiplayer interaction was, but at the same time, like if there's too many people playing the game, I wonder how much of an impact that has.
I think it would be better to have too many people than to have not enough. Because like my favorite part was stumbling upon those like horrible mountain spots that you got to, and you're like, holy crap, there's like a zip line or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep, it'd probably be the same. I feel like they're gonna think about these issues more than random Joe off the street.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised you did not say Space Giraffe was one of the worst games you played this year. But I'm honored.
Well, because Space Draft, I don't see it as a bad game. I just could not play it because it made me physically nauseous.
That's the marking of a good game, when you literally cannot play it or you get physically
Well,
ill.
it's like I like to think we have objective thought to a lot of things. Obviously, we have our biases. With me liking things like Jet Moto, I still think the game's really fun and really good. Well, not like, I mean, good is relative, but I could see why that you would enjoy that style of game. I just couldn't because my eyes.
I love that we both rated hover racing significantly higher than Jet Moto, because that's like an actual, like, pretty much the exact same game from like an actual like large studio for the PS1, and it got beat the fuck out by hover racing. Speaking of getting physically ill though on video games,
I want to get ill.
To commemorate, you want to get physically ill?
Yeah.
You're the one with the COVID scare last week.
Yeah, I got a little sicky sick.
We'll get into that in a second, but to commemorate a year of successful podcasting and 10 more years of forcing Dana to do this at gunpoint, I'm going to chug a beer, because why not?
I'll do the
No
same
one's
thing.
asked for this. No one asked for this. I'm doing it, though.
We're doing it. Oh, you bitched out like instantly.
Well, I like spilled. I should not have picked the 12% stout to chug.
I had a fucking Bud Light. It tastes like water.
Do not try to chug a Founders KBS. That's all I'm saying. Well, here's to a good 2021 for video games.
You know what?
Here's to a good 2021 of us doing a video game and a movie like we did those
Like
2 episodes.
2 times. It's just so hard to do movies. I hate movies, man. I think they all are shit.
Yeah, I saw Wonder Woman, not 84, but the first Wonder Woman, because we wanted to watch Wonder Woman 84, and Wonder Woman was one of the worst movies I've seen in the last 10 years. It was a 3 out of 10, and it has a 96% in Rotten Tomatoes. It's just that, like, yes, I may have been like, oh, this character was gonna be the bad guy all along, and I may have guessed that wrong, but the fact that I knew that all of a sudden they're gonna reveal that like someone that was good was the bad guy all along, oh my god,
It's all super predictable, but it's like I think the biggest thing is like I'm not a superhero guy, just in general.
yeah, all superhero movies suck. I'm sorry. I feel
well, like outside of superhero movies, like I'm not the biggest. Like people like jerk off to like fucking Spider-Man and shit like that. It's like I don't really care, you know.
I mean, like you don't like superheroes, but you love anime, and like I don't know. I feel like so much shonen anime is like literally the same thing. It's like I got powers. I'm gonna use the powers.
Yeah, but it's not like. I just think there's something cooler about what they do versus like, like I am a force for good. You know, anime could be, it could be. I feel like there's more depth to it, like as far as like their character. Maybe it's different because of comics, and it's the same reason I don't like manga.
I think part of it is that like through a TV show, you're able to expand on characters a little bit more than movies. I feel like movies have like a very predictable arc, and like especially with superhero movies where you have
Granted,
to. Like,
I have seen some animated superhero things I really enjoyed, like World War Hulk and like stuff like that. he like, goes to like a planet and like conquers it and like comes back with like a giant army to like conquer the Earth and shit like that. It's like fucking crazy. Like that's super fucking awesome. Or like Hulk vs. Thor, that shit was good. A lot of the animated superhero stuff is super good. But like any of like pretty much live action anything, I think we can admit is pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, I like fucking Static Shock was an amazing TV show as a kid. I'm surprised they haven't done anything with that yet.
I could have swore they did a Static Shock live action.
I probably don't want to know about it. If we're talking about things
We're talking about
that I
things
shouldn't have known about, KFC made a console.
I like threw this into our like topic list like last second because I just in all caps was like KFC console, KFC console, KFC console. So KFC announced.
Are you gonna buy it?
No, it's like $2,000. KFC announced a fucking video game console. It's basically not a console. It's basically a PC. They have a deal with Cooler Master to make a KFC branded quote unquote console.
Is that like that one Kickstarter drink cooler that like is apparently one of the worst products of all time?
No, Cooler Master, they're known for making like cool air coolers and like cases for PCs. They're like a budget Corsair, I want to say. Like if you go to like Micro Center, they'll have like Cooler Master stuff. It's like budget.
I was thinking the coolest cooler, which was like it's rated a 1 out of 10 by like the entire world, and it costs like $400.
But like
no, this one's gonna be rated a 10 out of 10 because
it has a fucking warming tray for chicken. You can put your chicken.
Sounds great.
You can put your chicken in your computer.
Sounds great when like I don't know the grease splatters and then gets in your fan and then the grease goes all over your processor.
You like
and...
forget about it and like come back 2 weeks later and just like moldy chicken inside your computer.
Oh no, just burnt. There's smoke. Like I'm not sure if it's gonna really work with like the cooling systems, but hey,
I think KFC is trying to do too much lately. Like they're trying to like embrace the meme and stuff, but KFC is like the worst chicken. They use like super fatty chicken. It has some of the best tasting chicken, but the quality of chicken is awful, and it's like has the Burger King effect where their stores are all fucking dirty and nasty. So it's like
yeah, I feel like they need to probably go a little bit less hard on the marketing budget and a little bit more hard on the like
store and or food. Well, because like they have a fucking dating sim game where you date the Colonel. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they've been doing some really weird social media. Like, I feel like the fact that we're talking about it is fallen into the trap of KFC's marketing. But all I want to say is that it's so stupid, but kind of hilarious. I'll give it to them.
Yeah,
on that end.
I think the console
no one's gonna buy this, and they've gotten so much free advertising.
They're gonna sell out.
Us, so
they're gonna sell out.
KFC.
They're it's absolutely gonna sell out. There's no way
they're gonna sell out, but they probably did not produce that many units.
No.
Like, do we know how many units they produced?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't find it.
I mean, if we're talking units, like, did you look at those numbers? Like, basically, the game industry.biz. You gotta love those .biz domains. They sound so legit.
Yeah.
But GameIndustry.biz, like I guess they every single year they release a yearly by the numbers game industry picture. And I was actually pretty like, did you know FIFA 21 is like the most popular game of all time?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm very, 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 very confused on that. But hey,
Europe, like they, it's like one of the most profitable games of all time. Like people literally spend hundreds. You got to think like. Football worldwide is the most popular sport. Like we're just insulated in the United States. We think like, oh, football, baseball, basketball. It's like football is like literally every other country but the United States, or soccer, whatever.
It is really sad to me that that's like literally the only surprise on my end though. Like every single other thing this year, I mean, like it's just like Fortnite, Cyberpunk.
No, FIFA prints money because people love that shit.
If we're talking about like 2021 or 2020 in terms of gaming, like the only thing that I feel like people weren't expecting is Animal Crossing to be as big as it was, and that was literally only because of a pandemic.
Oh yeah, if people
actually no, that's not true. Among Us definitely took the world by a storm, and no one expected that.
Well, I mean, grats to them. You know, people can say like, "Oh, I have all these AAA graphics, all this, all that, all this development time." All it takes is 4 dudes with a good idea and a fun ass fucking game that you can play with your friends to really make $1 billion. And the biggest thing about Among Us is it's in Asian countries on mobile is where it's really, really taking off. You know how like the Asian mobile market is with things, and it's like the perfect game to play on mobile because for one, it's free.
Have you played it on mobile?
I have not. No.
They just released it for Switch last week.
Jesus Christ, they're gonna make even more money. Speaking of mobile games, are you excited for Diablo Immortal?
So, did I actually talk about this with you? Like, I was actually one of the few people who played Diablo Immortal early. Like, and I actually legitimately love... So, the thing is, I had no idea what the controversy was because I was never a Diablo fan. And, like, after the announcement, like, I was one of the few people in the audience like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then, like, I tried it and, like, oh, this is fun. And then I like, looked at the news and everyone's like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. Because I was at BlizzCon when they announced it.
Well, that's why
I was also at BlizzCon when they announced Diablo 4. Like, both were fun. I think Diablo's a fun game. I just never played any of them.
So that's why I value your opinion on this, because you're not biased at all whatsoever. If you could pick this thing up as a third party who's never played a Diablo game and goes, holy shit, this game's fun as fuck. It's probably going to be fun as fuck. And this game is going to make $1 billion. Like, it is going to be like one of the most grossing mobile games of all time. Because like the Chinese market they're gonna love this game.
Well, I think it's already been proven to be fun as fuck because it's another game that was made in China and they just rescanned it with Diablo stuff.
Yeah.
And the original game was well received. So congrats.
Yeah, I'll probably play it. I'm gonna probably need a new phone though. I have like an.
Is it coming out?
So right now, a bunch of like high profile like streamers and like influencers are getting like copies of it.
I did see Crip play Diablo Immortal now that I think about it.
But I'm definitely gonna need a better phone because I have an iPhone 6S and it's getting a little slow. So
I mean, like, that's great and all, but if we're talking about like things I'm excited for, like, there are some updates to nostalgia from my childhood, and I know that I'm gonna be dating myself or making you feel old when I say my childhood was 2005, but like. Stinko Man. Did you ever go on HomestarRunner.com?
I did, and my friends were super into it. I only saw stuff like Strong Bad and stuff like that. I was never really into like the series and stuff like that. Not as much. I was more into like Newgrounds and stuff like that. Homestar Runner felt very much like the Disney Channel of like Flash websites.
I mean, Homestar, yeah, they weren't trying to like. The thing is, like, it doesn't matter like the actual content quality. I feel like back in the day, like if you were like getting a little older, you're just like, I need some edgy shit in my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's significantly worse in terms of like entertainment value.
I was like,
edgier,
I was
therefore
like
better.
I was like 2 or 3 years too older than that because the group of people I was hanging with was like 2 grades younger than me.
Okay. Well, one of the things, like, there was a video game section of Homestar Runner where they had their own Flash games.
Yeah.
And one of them was based on a Speemail called Stinko Man, where basically Strong Bad became an anime character, and they basically had a Mega Man clone.
Yeah.
But it had like a 10th level that was coming soon. They announced like 3 days ago, maybe last week, that Flash is dying at the end of the year. I'm not sure if you actually knew that. Like,
really?
They had, yeah, I'm pretty sure like 2020 is the last year. Actually now I'm curious.
Well, like,
Flash death
how?
date.
But I mean, like, people are still like uploading to like Newgrounds. Like, people actually like are huge in the Newgrounds right now.
Flash has been replaced by HTML5. Like, you could have Flash animation, basically the equivalent, done on HTML5.
Okay.
It's just that like Flash as a medium to play stuff. Literally, December 31st is the last time Flash will be available on Chrome. Like, you know how you've been able to enable Flash all this time?
Yeah.
After 2020, you're not going to be able to do that. So
Wow.
They released for their Flash game the 10th and final level that was supposed to come out like over 10 years ago. They released it like 3 days ago, and they're like, yeah, you have a week to beat this level before Flash dies forever.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm actually super excited about that.
Are you
like
gonna play
that?
it?
And I mean, like, the thing is, the game was not amazing, but it was amazing as a kid. Honestly, a lot of those games were like joke games where it was not like meant to be amazing. But like,
you like throw a taco at a
it's
wall
like a
or something
massive
like that.
nostalgia blast. Same with I Want to Be the Guy just got a remaster.
Really? So that's been one
Yeah.
I've been meaning to play. But the problem is like with those are like Insano Kaizo games that like it's like, oh, you jump over this thing, then a spike falls on you. It's like, okay, I dodge a spike, and then like a spear comes at you. You know, it's like
Well, the funny thing is, I Want to Be the Guy is like not even the Insano Kaizo. It's like people who play like Kaizo Mario World. It's like, oh, Kaizo Mario World, that's so Kaizo. It's like, oh, that's actually baby shit.
I might be thinking of Bashi. I think Bashi is the one that's like super hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I Want to Be the Guy is the inspiration for all those.
Yeah.
It was the first Needle game, literally the first Needle game. Everything's based on
I don't have a problem
but
with these
Boshi's
things.
a harder one.
I have a problem when like super old like AAA IPs get redone, when like random like super obscure things like this that only people like know of get remade. I think that's kind of cool for like fans and stuff like that, you know?
No, I never had a problem with this. Like, I actually beat I Want to Be the Guy like way back in the day when I had way more free time to like just be like, it's not even an issue of free time, it's an issue of patience. Like, I was like, I don't mind wasting my time. And now like one of the biggest things I hate in new video games is like not valuing my time. Like when you have like lack of saves or like
what's the term
massive
you always use?
unskippable
You always use
cutscenes.
like we're in an attention economy or whatever.
Yeah, we're an attention economy, and I feel like if you don't value that, then your
fuck
game
off.
is not going to be good.
No.
Yeah. But back in the day, people didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit because I was like 13 or whatever, and I played the shit out of I Want to Be the Guy. I beat it. I'm never going back to that game because honestly, that game is just not fun in a lot of places.
I feel like I'm just over like super frustrating platforming games. You know?
Yeah, I mean I'm like that too. Like there's a reason I'm not in the Kaizo community. With I Want to Be the Guy, one of the biggest issues in the game, honestly, was that it crashes a ton.
Yeah.
Like it's an unstable piece of shit.
So what does the remaster actually bring? Just better graphics or
better graphics? I think more stability. Does
it have ray tracing?
I honestly I feel like I should know a little bit more, but I'm just super excited that like a whole new group of people will be hopefully able to play this game. Better graphics is debatable though. I feel like it's
the problem with games
it's
like
tried
that,
and true, but like it's like less. It looks like smoother, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I'm sure they got rid of like a bunch of graphical glitches, made some of like the animations better and stuff like that. But I'm pumped for it. Anybody that's into that kind of shit, I'm sure they'll be happy for it.
I mean, like the whole world of indie shit is going crazy right now. Like I showed you last week. I meant to bring it up in the last call, but like there's a new SNES expansion chip that allows you to do it's like it's way above my pay grade, but I think it's like called ray tracing. The Super RT
I was just saying
allows for ray tracing on the the actual like implementation and like how it was done is above my pay grade, but like there's the Super RT expansion chip which allows ray tracing on the Super Nintendo, and it literally makes Super Nintendo games look better than N64 games. It's actually insane.
Which is actually insane. I remember you sending me that video of what the graphics physically looked like, and it was like mind blowing that was. Now, this isn't a chip that like upgrades the graphics or anything like that. This is
it's not a chip that affects the console itself. It's literally only in the cartridge.
Yeah, that to me that's awesome. What I am more interested is like, cool, you did this. What are you doing with it? Is this going to have any effect on already existing games to make them look better? Because I would like to see like the SNES version of like Star Fox looking better, because that's one of the main things I didn't play that. Because I love Star Fox 64, but I never played the Super Nintendo one because like the graphics were kind of off-putting for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's really not aged well at all. Like people were like so hyped because they finally released Star Fox 2, but no one actually I shouldn't say no one, but like a significant amount of people who like were excited about that have never played Star Fox 1, and if they played Star Fox 1 probably wouldn't like it.
Have you played Star Fox 64?
I have not played Star Fox anything. Actually, no, I've played and loved Star Fox Adventures, but a lot of people don't like egg fetching quest simulator.
I like that game too, though. We're gonna play Star Fox 64 one day. I'm gonna make you play all the classics.
I think I own Star Fox Zero for the Wii U because I had to justify my Wii U.
I'm sorry.
No, Wii U's dope. Okay.
So here's the thing: the Wii U actually has so many fantastic games. It was just the worst marketing of all time because I thought it was just peripheral for the Wii when it was announced.
Congrats on saying the same thing as 40,000 other people.
Well, it's true.
It is. I mean, it's so obvious. I bet like some advertisers got fired at Nintendo. Bet they got fired for that blunder.
Yeah, but then the Switch came out and it's like one of the best selling systems of all time. So
to go back on the Super RT for 1 second though, I definitely agree that it's about what they do with it, and I feel like the Super Nintendo community especially has been pretty disappointing from a third party modern SNES game perspective. And when I say modern, I mean after the system was discontinued. Like, they have a lot of really good ROM hacks, but original games, while they exist, are generally not great.
There's not a lot of them. I feel like that they find like a bunch of like, you know, like dev games that were never released and stuff like that for like other systems, and they don't really find them too much on SNES. There's like Shantae or something like that, and like people make like random games, but there really don't seem to be too many. Yeah,
I mean, like the thing is, the best thing about the homebrew SNES community is the demo scene. I'm not sure if you ever like were into demos, like all those like cool graphical with music things.
Yeah.
The demo scene's awesome. The demo scene is Pog. I almost said that out loud, like unironically, and I was like, I caught myself, but I just said it anyway.
You just said it, so that's even worse.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just remember being like going through like the fucking massive ROM dumps that we dumped ourselves on the EverDrive, and it was just like random hentai videos.
Yeah, hentai slideshows on the Super Nintendo. What an experience! But yeah, I feel like that's where the Super RT is going to shine. Definitely the demo scene, not like people implementing this in like other
hentai
games.
slideshows.
the hentai slideshows with ray tracing are going to be amazing. I mean, if we're talking like you mentioned, like oh my god, you mentioned unreleased games being found. Like the two unreleased games for Dreamcast that just came out were like actually pretty dope. Like there was a Simpsons bug adventure game that was literally only done as a tech demo to Fox executives who decided they didn't want a Simpsons game for Dreamcast. But like some of these dev cell shaded like crazy looking games like literally had potential to be some of the best games. Like they basically made Chibi Robo on the Dreamcast before Chibi Robo.
Really?
Like it's what could have been. It's a little disappointing, but
you gotta kind of wonder how many games don't make it like all the way and end up being like fantastic ideas and actually are good games, but someone high up, like a suit high up in like the company is like, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like the games that could have been, you know.
I kind of feel like it's similar in a way to the TV show making process. Given the budgets, it's like you have an idea and you might make a little tiny demo, but like most of those don't even like get fleshed out, and even those they don't make it to full production, and then like even those they don't make it to the end, et cetera, et cetera. So like there's probably a shit ton. I mean, like they literally today announced that they like found information on a discontinued GBA peripheral that like the Super Work Boy or something like that, which was like a keyboard for a Game Boy that like allowed you to like send faxes and like do business. Yeah, there's like a 20 to 25 minute video on this. Did they have something
like that for the Super Nintendo as well? I remember seeing something in Japan of like having something for like business for like either the original Nintendo or the Super Nintendo, or it might have been Nintendo 64. I forget.
I think it was the original Nintendo, and then there were like a few couple like weird like adult use cases for the Super Nintendo. Like I have the Net-Yarazes was made hover racing, but I have this weird ass controller for the Super Nintendo which features a numpad on it. Yeah, and the main use case for that in modern day is to play a homebrew Sudoku game. But there is a horse betting online SNES game that it's meant for. Like, there's some weird ass use cases for these.
Well, I mean, it's kind of innovative that they were trying to do things that like adults could possibly enjoy, because maybe like they get the system for their kids, and then it's like, oh well, I can do some horse betting or my text.
I mean, they had hentai slideshows. Why would they need that?
You know, 14-year-olds made those.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, what else is there? Besides like the hentai slideshow SNES conversation.
Well, I guess we could talk about more Dream shit. Like that's just kind of has been like all encompassing everything. Yeah, basically Dream. If you're following like the whole drama with that, he basically was uploading speed runs, and someone found out he was possibly cheating on it. It was like a 1 in like 30 trillion chance that he wasn't cheating. You know, if you don't know who Dream is, he's one of the largest up and coming YouTubers. He's a Minecraft YouTuber. Speedruns Minecraft. He has like 14 million subs that are all like 10 years old. People think he's
literally a person who watches Minecraft on YouTube. Think about that. Think about the average Minecraft viewer.
Yeah. To be fair, I was actually watching some Minecraft videos the other day, and they were kind of interesting. But that's besides the point.
You're above average. Okay, not in age, but in quality human being. Okay, there we go. Hashtag wholesome.
Thank you. Basically, these people came out with a video saying like it was like a 26-page article stating why he cheated, how he cheated, why they think he did it, etc. And his times were removed from the speedrun leaderboard, and he comes back saying, "Oh, you guys are biased. You're this. You're that. That's not true." Blah blah blah. And he has all his fans attacking the mods for the speedrun thing. Dream finally made a response video, and he got like some PhD guy from some random website that no one's ever heard of that has like 3 users, and that's his expert saying why he didn't cheat, and it was immediately debunked by like the entire community. It just sucks that Dream got like creator of the year, all this other stuff, and he's like misleading his fans. I guess it's like if we weren't into speedrunning, we probably wouldn't care as much, because speedrunning and like games in general are such a huge part of our lives, why we're a little bit more invested in this than normal.
I don't know. I kind of have a hot take, especially for someone who's like so unbelievably involved, because as a moderator, as one of like 2.5 active moderators on speedrun or r/speedrun, like literally I have to filter out like 30 posts about this like per day. Maybe that's honestly why I'm just so unbelievably exhausted by this drama that I just like I don't give a shit anymore. Like, it's the thing is, if you made up your mind, you made up your mind 2 weeks ago, and you either think Dream cheated or you didn't. I don't think there's any evidence that's going to, unless it's like legitimate evidence on Dream's side that he didn't cheat versus like anything circumstantial. You're not going to change your mind on this if you already made up your mind.
Well, Carl Jops has the video for you.
Did he actually release it? I thought he was going to make it.
He's releasing it in a couple days. I'll probably watch that, and that'll probably be the end of it for me. I think he cheated, but whatever.
No, but I was totally not done. The thing is, like, Dream definitely cheated. I'll say that much. But like, it wasn't about him cheating after like the third day.
Yeah.
Like, the moderators made a decision. They're not going to go back on their decision. Dream said what he wanted to say. He got his base riled up. If you don't see that he cheated, you are part of his calculated effort to like save face. Like, he doesn't actually care whether or not like there's credible evidence on his side.
No,
like, he has an army of 9-year-olds.
It's all just optics to make him look better. Because at the end of the day, he's just trying to make as much money as possible. Which I understand. He's like what, like 19? He blew up.
I think he's 20.
Yeah, he's like 20. He's a sudden millionaire. It's like hard to deal with all that kind of shit. So of course you're gonna do stuff to like make it more interesting or whatever. I don't blame him, but it just he needs to do a little bit of growing up, you know.
Yep, I think he's wrong. I think he's immature. I think he's actually like dangerously pitting his fans against like a legitimate like party with concerns.
They're like literally getting death threats and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
like they've already been doxxed multiple times. Like, all this stuff is really crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked, and I hate it. But like, yeah, the mods made a decision. Dream is like nothing's going to change. Just I have to move on with my life because while you are probably listening to this and to podcasts about video gaming, like it's so much easier to avoid video game drama and move on with your life than to like get yourself emotionally invested in this. I've checked out, and I'm letting my fellow moderator Amarylin take all the fucking bullets from these stupid ass opinions, and I apologize that I'm not doing more, but keep doing what you're doing.
Do you know what else I'm checking out of?
What are you checking out of?
Fucking 2020. We'll see you all in 2021.
I don't know what sounds I'm making right now, but I do want to apologize that literally our Christmas episode, we forced people to listen to Trapped.
I'm sorry, guys. We'll do something better next year. Love you guys. Thank you all so much.
Next year we will not
support.
play Trapped once, okay? Once was too far. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you liked it a lot, make sure to rate us 5 stars on iTunes and subscribe on whatever podcast app you use. Here's Dana with a ditty.
Ditty, ditty, ditty. Look at my titty. Give us 5 stars so we can go fars.
That and more if you continue to support.